Welcome back to our PlayStation Livecast. I got a big one for you next. This is Alex from DICE, and we're going to talk Battlefield 4 coming to PS3 and PS4. So, you guys have unveiled a salvo of information about this one. It's a big series. It's getting bigger every time. Battlefield 3 was a massive hit. Where do you guys stand right now with Battlefield 4?
So we got a good show here. We're showing 64 players and everything on the show floor. We're showing multiplayer, we're showing single player, and the response has been overwhelmingly positive so far.
Awesome. So let's talk about that 64 players. So PS4 version is going to support 64 players. That's not something we've seen before in the console space. How does 64 players change the dynamics of one of these big multiplayer matches that you guys are so famous for?
So Battlefield has always been, about these epic scale battles and, land, sea, and air and massive amounts of people playing and stuff like that. So to finally get that on the consoles is going to be super exciting for us. It's one of the things that I'm most excited about, that, and we're going 60 FPS. So
that's huge. 60 frames a second. I mean, I'm particularly sensitive to this. I love to see games that are 60 frames a second. There's always a trade-off on the development side, though, right? It's like, how many effects do you want on screen? How many players do you have on screen? Seems like you guys have somehow hit that sweet spot where you can do big, giant matches at 60 frames a second, much more responsive that way. But I also want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you guys can do on PS4 that you haven't been able to do in the console generation so far. I mean, that's things like new effects. Are you still doing destructible environments? Talk a little bit about where your tech is going and how that might impact multiplayer.
So Frostbite 3 is the engine that we're running on right now. And what we can do now is that we can have these huge, expansive environments that actually change over the course of the battle. And this is an interesting game changer because at one moment the battle looks in a certain way, and if you see the demo that we had on stage a couple of days ago, where the skyscraper comes collapsing down onto the field itself, changes the position where the flag is at, it changes the gameplay layout, but also it changes the visual feel of the level itself. So now you might not be able to see people as far as you used to. Chopper pilots needs to fly closer to the ground, and all these things that really we want to change the feel and the dynamics of the map itself. So this is what we call then Levolution.
Levolution, and we're getting a taste of this right now. You guys are showing off some footage.
Yeah.
Looking great. Talk about, vehicles have always been a big part of Battlefield.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about how you're approaching vehicles here for Battlefield 4.
So we wanted to make sure that, it's a big part of our game, so we wanted to make sure that we keep the core essence of what we usually have, and then we add a few new tweaks to it. So we have some new vehicle types that are coming in. What you see here is we have an armored transport, and also we have these fast attack boats, which are a new class of vehicles that we're adding. I'm about to jump into that in this clip right here.
So it's back to land, sea, and air. That's something you guys sort of did earlier on, and you kind of got more into the infantry stuff, so it's back. It's land, sea, and air for Battlefield 4.
Absolutely, it's everything.
Yeah.
And we want to go big with this one, so of course we want to have all the elements play together at the same time. So here you see the water, the jet skis that we also added, which is a new type of vehicle.
Oh, that's awesome, jet skis.
Yeah. So the cool thing is that from this vehicle right here, you can bail out into a jet ski itself. So you deploy into a jet ski, so you can kind of, in the very last moment, get out and do your James Bond type escape.
I love it.
Right?
Look at that, there we go.
There
Get
you
some
go.
jet ski action. Look at
exactly.
that. That's sweet.
So that's pretty cool. And another thing that, we're adding many small details to this. We added, this might sound stupid, elevators.
Elevators?
Which is like a big thing for the gamers. It gives us access to new areas on the map that typically you have to walk or climb.
Interesting,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Changes it up, makes it a little more accessible.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Exactly.
And then here's some of the close combat sort of infantry stuff,
Yep.
which you guys have been sort of pushing harder and harder and harder with each iteration. It's always been about massive scale. It's always been about sandbox, but you guys are really focusing on actually single player now is squarely in the crosshairs too. And I know you're multiplayer focused, but just give us kind of a top down of how you guys are viewing single player for Battlefield 4.
So what we're trying to do is, to create a new and unique experience. So what we're doing here is that we're bringing some of the multiplayer elements into single player.
Look at this, look at this. This is amazing. This is not the kind of stuff I'm accustomed to seeing in Battlefield, I'll be honest with you. And this is multiplayer footage?
It's just multiplayer.
Unbelievable. I would have guessed that was single player. But where are we at with single player, though? Sorry to interrupt you. That was too cool. I couldn't let that one go.
No worries. Yeah, so we're taking, you have a squad with you in single player. That's one of the things that we're, multiplayer is focusing quite a lot on. So we're bringing that over to single player. You can order your squad around to help you. And we also, adding vehicles and options to explore the environment more than we've done previously. So we're trying to basically make it feel more Battlefield, the single player. And I think that we are definitely getting there. And we're showing single player here also. So
nice.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a little bit more. You guys have shown off a little taste of the single player. A little bit more human, a little bit more dramatic. That's an interesting take too, because I mean, let's be frank, Battlefield has always been about the multiplayer because you guys do it the best. You guys have the biggest battles. You guys have had the vehicles down. I'm an old school fan from the good old days on the PC before you guys even got into the console generation, or from PS2, Battlefield, bad company, and now we're coming full circle with Battlefield 4. So tell me a little bit more, what else are you particularly excited about to get out there and let people know about for Battlefield 4?
So one more thing that I'm super excited about, that's the Commando mode. We're bringing back the Commando mode, which was one of the previous titles that's been gone for a few years, and we felt like now the time is right to bring Commando back. And the Commander, is this tactical level on top of the game itself, so you basically are ordering your squads around and capturing objectives. And you're fighting this sort of chess game between you and the other commander. So this is kind of an interesting new addition to us again.
This is sort of a return, because this was in Battlefield 2142, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you're right.
Which I was a big fan of, actually, way back in the day. But we're taking another look here, some more footage. Destructibility seems to be a huge theme here. You guys have always been great with it, but this is a different level. And we're looking at next gen here. We're looking at PS4. What else, I mean, from a weapons perspective, you guys have always had this ability to sort of mod and upgrade your weapons. Is that still something you guys are pushing forward with on Battlefield 4?
We're pushing even further ahead now. We have customizations on sidearms, we have customization on main weapons. So I think players will find more options on how to play the way you want to play, right? Because Battlefield has always been about, a sandbox where you get to do the things you want. If you want to, drive a vehicle and do this thing in this corner, you can do that, or be the sniper on top of the skyscraper if you want to be that guy. Or probably don't. Or
you could be me and fly the jet around and pinwheel and splash into the ocean too.
And that too, of course.
That's me.
Yeah.
So you guys, are you going to have the carriers back to take jets off of and everything? Is that coming back?
Maybe.
Maybe, exclusive. We'll see. I guess more to come on that one. But another thing I think that's important to talk about when you talk about Battlefield 4 is, I mean, just the clans and just sort of the social dynamic. I mean, you guys are kind of going there with Battlefield 4, right? I mean, how are you approaching it?
So right now we're actually we're huge fans of esports and competitive play and that sort of stuff. We are huge fans of it, and we want to get in on that as well. So we're actually showing spectator mode, which is new. For Battlefield 4, that allows people to connect and spectate basically the players you want, and then you can broadcast it and do what you want. Set up cameras in the world, first person, third person. You have all these options. So that's a first step for us. But we will talk more about these competitive things as we come along.
Outstanding. And another thing is, this game has often been, you guys have had a lot of different themes for the Battlefield games. I mean, there was the original Battlefield 1942, Battlefield Vietnam, Battlefield 2. You've kind of gone all around the world. The setting for this one, though, for Battlefield 4, it's a new one, right? Talk to me. It's in Asia, right? It's in China?
Yeah, China plays a big part in Battlefield 4. We're also bringing the Chinese army back into the multiplayer. Yeah.
Awesome.
So now you have 3 armies, and so basically, it's taking place in many places in China. I can't reveal too much about exactly where, but this is Shanghai right here on this map. The single player that they're showing is in South China Sea, so definitely there's things happening, and it's in the same world as Battlefield 3. So they are connected, but I can't really talk about what that is.
Sure. Now, Battlefield 3 came out, frankly, not that long ago. I think it was 2 years ago. You guys have done an awesome job supporting it with the premium edition. You've had a lot of DLC that's been very well received. I know PS3 gamers were snapping up by the millions. Are you guys, is that still something you guys are looking at? Is this just a one and done, or do you feel like you're going to be sort of supporting this game for a long time to come?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to have something like that this time around as well, and we announced the first DLC, which is China Rising. So I'm not going to talk about what that is, but I guess you're
more to come.
More to come, exactly.
Outstanding.
So that's cool. That's happening.
Okay, have you had a chance to check out just the conference in general? Have you seen anything else, or have you been heads down in the Battlefield section?
Yeah, sorry, I've been heads down in the Battlefield section. But I'm really excited about, you know, PlayStation 4, and I'm really excited about getting the game out on it and getting, you know, players fan feedback from it.
Yeah, and 64 players on a console, that's no small feat. But that's the PS4 version. Now it's also coming out on PS3 though, and I want to make that clear.
Yep.
How are you guys approaching the PS3 version of the game?
So we have, fortunately, Frostbite technology allows us to do this parallel development that scales very good on these platforms. So for us, it's not that much of a difference in the way that we develop the game, since Frostbite allows us to scale the content up and down as we want to go. Now the difference is, you know, we have 24 players on the PS3, but you know, the Commander is also coming to the PS3.
Nice.
So that means that you have literally 24 plus 2, because the Commanders doesn't take the seats of a normal player. So it's actually a little bit more things that can go on the PS3 than last time.
Nice, and the Commander mode too, is that a tablet? Is there sort of a cross-play thing there with tablet? How does that work?
So basically you can take the tablet with you, and you can log in and be Commander from wherever you want to be. So that's pretty cool, you know, imagine you're on the bus and you can still, you know, be part of the experience, even though if you're on the go, which I think is really cool. You can bring Battlefield with you.
Now you're a multiplayer designer, you're a multiplayer expert, you know the scene really well. Do you see this sort of cross-play, kind of play wherever you are, remote play on tablets and phones? Do you see that becoming more and more integrated in games like Battlefield 4?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I believe it's a big future in that type of experiences. And I think that as we go along now and discover new ways to explore these new capabilities, I think we'll come up with some really cool stuff. And yeah, we'll see, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Battlefield 4 coming to PS4 and PS3, coming out PS3 this fall. And stay tuned, we're going to take a look at Killzone Mercenary for PS Vita.
War is our business. We are an elite, not bound by the usual rules, drawn together by our love of one thing, the paycheck. Wherever it leads us, whatever it takes, whoever is willing to pay. But money can be a fickle mistress. Sometimes it makes us choose sides. Other times, it's every man for himself. Either way, it's get rich or die trying. Soldier, you're a mercenary now. We don't fight for a cause. We fight for money. War is our business.
PlayStation